Hey folks, welcome to Minnesota Travel Guy Talks Turkey. Hey, it's the day before Thanksgiving. It's Wednesday, so that is the annual Brine the Turkey Day. So I figured, you know what? We talk turkey all the time on Minnesota Travel Guy, so let's actually talk turkey, shall we? So every year I brine my turkey. This is a brine recipe I learned years and years and years ago, and I've modified about 17 different times. But this is what I've come up with, and I'm telling you that if you brine your turkey this way, if you've never brined a turkey, literally you can put water and salt together and brine a turkey, and it still will be 10 times better than you've ever had turkey before. But going with that, I have modified it quite a bit. So bottles of beer in the 5-gallon bucket. Let's talk about the 5-gallon bucket for a second. You can reuse a 5-gallon bucket if you have one at home. You know, don't use one that you've been mixing cement in or something like that. But if you have one that you've been using for brining or using for cleaning, I mean, I would not use a bucket that you've been using for cleaning either. So go out, invest the $2 at any hardware store and get yourself a covered 5-gallon bucket. But when you bring it home, do me a favor. Scour it and put as hot of water as possible in there and rinse that. That bucket's been around the world. It's been sitting in a hardware store for 20 years before they sold it to you. So please wash your bucket. Okay? All right? Have I covered that? All right. So 12 bottles of Guinness beer. I'm just going to go off my recipe. You can use another kind of beer if you want to, but I would use Guinness beer. And then 2 cups of kosher salt goes in there. And that's going to make it foam up. You know, everything that you put in beer is going to make it foam up. Get yourself a whisk and combine that 30 seconds or so. Then the next ingredient, 2 cups of the darkest brown sugar you can find. If you only have normal brown sugar, it'll be fine too. But dark brown sugar is better. And you want to break up that chunk in there too. It's all about getting the flavor all the way through that liquid. So you can't just dump it in the bucket and then put your turkey in there. You really want to incorporate every ingredient that you put in there. Make sure all that sugar is dissolved and all that salt is dissolved. Okay. All right, I think we're getting there. Next thing is 4 cinnamon sticks. That's pretty easy. Give it a quick little stir. Next, 1 teaspoon of whole cloves. Put that in there. You can hear those cinnamon sticks rattling around the bottom now. Then we have a 1/4 cup of peppercorns. Six bay leaves. You definitely want to get those down in the liquid. The bay leaves will tend to float on you until you get them wet. So make sure you get those bay leaves down in the liquid. They really impart some wonderful flavors, bay leaf. All right. Mr. Turkey, hold my whisk here for a second. 1/2 gallon of apple cider. We get that all incorporated in there. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you tasted this, it would taste like, well, let's just say it tastes like ass. But it will make your turkey taste delicious. Okay, depending on the size of your turkey now, it could be up to a gallon of water. I'm going to start with about a half a gallon of water because I have a monstrous turkey that was given to me. It's a 23-pound turkey. There's no way in hell that Minnesota Travel wife and I and our one daughter and boyfriend are going to eat 23 pounds of turkey, but you know what? We can. I will just, as soon as I pull that out of the oven, I'll take half of it and cut it up, bag it, and freeze it for recipes down the road. But if it was an 11-pound turkey, I'd probably go ahead and dump the whole gallon of water in there. But since I don't know how much water this big, huge turkey is going to displace, I'm going to put about half a gallon in. All right, we got that all mixed in. So turkey usually has a little plastic hook there. The other thing I want to really make sure that I stress, safety, safety, safety when it comes to poultry products. Anytime you touch a turkey, as soon as I'm done videoing here, I will go immediately wash my hands. Don't put them on your face, don't put them in your mouth, don't put them, pick your nose, don't do anything that you might do, because I mean, it really is. I mean, there's some deadly toxins on the outside of turkeys that we cook off, and that's fine. Once they're cooked, they're fine. But you really want to make sure that raw, when you're handling raw poultry, clean, 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 clean. You know, they even say don't rinse your turkey off in the sink anymore because of the splatters that go, and you'll splatter stuff that will splatter over on your counters and stuff like that, and later on you'll put something else on there and feed it to somebody, and then you'll make them sick. So super, super careful with your turkey products, okay? Now, that's a big turkey. I'm gonna put it down in there. And you gotta let them, go slow so that you don't overrun it. Because I mean, right now this bucket, you can't see the bucket, but the bucket is full to the brim of foam. Okay, that almost worked out perfectly, but I'm gonna just top it off with a little bit of water. If for some reason your turkey's floating or you don't have enough juice to get it in there, use some heavy plates and just shove them in there. The plates wash, it's not a big deal. Some heavy plates, wash it. Just make sure that turkey stays down in the brine. And this one's actually so big that it's not floating. I'm gonna go ahead and top it off. And absolutely, actually, it actually worked out perfect, more perfect than I've ever seen it work. But I'm gonna try to go ahead and, since I put that water on top, try to create a little current and get some of those flavors up into that water. All right, this is all my turkey stuff, so I'm gonna not do anything. So what I'm gonna do, so what you're gonna do now, take your cover, and here's the biggest challenge. If you live in the Great White North, like me, if it's a good nice day, you can put it outside. Today, we are gonna be below freezing, so if I put it outside, it's gonna freeze. So I am not gonna put it outside. I'm gonna have to clear out, I have 2 fridges, so I'm gonna have to clear out some space in one of my fridges, and this needs to stay in the brine until you cook it tomorrow. 24 hours is best, 24 to 36 hours. So I'm probably looking, you know what, it'll probably be almost exactly 24 hours. It's 9 a.m. here in Minnesota on Wednesday, and it's gonna take probably 5 hours to cook the turkey. So if I pull this out at 9 a.m. tomorrow and throw it in the oven, it'll be done at about 2, sliced by 3, and we'll be eating at 3. So that's about perfect. But 24 hours minimum. I say minimum. Anything over 12 hours is gonna make your turkey super freaking delicious. But not anything over 36 hours either. You don't wanna soak it for 7 days, you'll pickle it. 24 to 36 hours is what you want. So what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna stop this recording. Hey, Minnesota Travel Guy back. I've put most of my brining supplies away. And I know that the portion up in front of this was edited pretty heavily because I didn't want to have you watch me have to do all of those things, and it would be boring. So I clipped those clips pretty short. I am going to start a new thing because my videos are going too long on Minnesota Travel Guy Talks. So today's going to be the brining of the turkey, Minnesota Travel Guy Talks Turkey, and then a little bit about my life. And I'm going to go off book here today on my life. Instead of going in a sequential order, I'm going to go back to my favorite Thanksgiving memory. And as a youngster, I'll give you two Thanksgiving memories. As a youngster, I have a vivid memory of getting up with my mom and dad at probably 5 in the morning and shredding actual breadcrumbs. They'd always leave a couple of loaves. So back then it was like Wonder Bread, and they'd leave those out on the counter for a day or two to get them a little stale. And my job was to break up the bread into little pieces so that they could make stuffing or dressing, whatever you call it in your part of the world. We called it stuffing because we actually did stuff the turkey with it. I know people down south, what the hell are you doing putting crap inside a turkey? But up here, we actually stuff it in a turkey. And that is one of my best memories of being with my mom and my dad, who were working their asses off to feed us 10 kids, or a family of 10. And usually there was any number of friends or relatives or whatever that came over for Thanksgiving also. Probably by the time it was done, it was at least 15 or 20 people every Thanksgiving. But I remember, okay, keep shredding that bread until you get that. I can't even remember what it was, 16 or 18 cups of bread. It seemed like forever because, I was 5 or 6 years old. But the part of that, what I'm getting to is while I was shredding that bread, Mom or Dad was in the kitchen making the base for that stuffing. And it was nothing but pure butter and onions and garlic and celery. And they were just sauteing that, and probably some sage and some poultry seasoning, and that smell permeated the entire house. And I can still vividly go back to that smell. They always say smells, you remember smells. That smell, wow, that invokes all kinds of childhood memories for me. And that is a wonderful memory for me. An adult memory. My best adult Thanksgiving memory would be, I don't know the exact year. I really don't. I suppose it would be, I suppose it would be the Thanksgiving of 2002. As you know, as I said in my story, that when I married Minnesota travel wife Susie, she had 2 boys. At that time, when we were starting to date, Tyler was 9 months old and AJ was 6. Well, that wasn't enough children for us, obviously, so we adopted 2 foster kids. And I want to say, Susie will probably correct me, but I think I'm right when I say the Thanksgiving of 2002. Right prior to that, we finally had our final adoption of our youngest daughter, Christy. Emily had already been adopted at that point the year prior, but we had to wait a long time on Christy. And that was the first year we were all together as a family unit. The 2 boys, the 2 girls, who, by the way, when we got the 2 girls, guess what age they were? 9 months old and 6 months and 6 years. It was like a do-overs. But I remember cooking that year and just thinking how cool it was that we had this family of 4 kids. God, if I only knew all the shit we were going to go through. And you kids know what I'm talking about. But you know what? It all turned out great. All of our kids are awesome. AJ is working hard in Colorado Springs. Tyler's out near Washington, D.C., and is married to a beautiful troublemaking wife called Taylor, who I love very much, and she knows it. And Emily is going to be working as a deputy sheriff in North Carolina. And Christy she works with the elderly and the infirm and in North Dakota, CNA type stuff. So they're all turned out to be awesome kids, and You can't ask for anything better than that. They're not in jail. They're not drug dealers, and they're all paying their own bills, which means I don't have to, which is awesome. So I just want to leave you here because this will be the last one. My next film will come out on Friday, and it will be I will cover the other 2 sections of Minnesota Travel Guide. That'll be Bitcoin and what else? I just covered my life. So it'll be Bitcoin and just what's going on. You know what? And Friday, it probably won't come out until Saturday because we have an annual tradition that we invite everybody in the universe, including some of you folks. If you want to come see us on the day after Thanksgiving. So if you want to come see us, I'm smoking a brisket, a pork butt, and a whole bunch of chicken thighs. Come see us. Come have a beer if it's for 20 minutes. Come see us. You are welcome to come see us. Just private message me and I'll give you the address if you're around close. I'd love to see some of you. And that is just close to Dent, Minnesota, in case you're planning on hey, let's go for a 3-hour drive. Do it. Come see us. Come have a beer with me. I will, and brisket and everything else. So my next video will probably come out on Saturday or Sunday because I'm going to want to incorporate some of those clips from Friday's party into it. But Friday we'll cover Bitcoin and what's happening, which will be the Thanksgiving videos and the day after Thanksgiving party. So until then, I wish you all a really, really great Thanksgiving. And I challenge you to do one thing. That grudge you've been carrying around for that one person that you can't get out of your mind, and all of those negative thoughts that surround that person for whatever they did. I don't care, unless it's murder or something, but for whatever they did, release it into the universe. Stop it from crippling you. You are crippling yourself. The only person you're hurting is yourself by not letting go of that anger. Call that person. Make up. You don't have to be best friends. But call them and say, hey, you know what? We went through some bullshit. I forgive you. I hope you forgive me. And let's have a great Thanksgiving. I can't tell you how great that will make you feel. I challenge you. Do that. Private message me down below and tell me you did it and tell me how your Thanksgiving went. Please. It would make me ecstatic if there was 100 comments down below that somebody actually did that and it made their Thanksgiving. So please do that in the comments below. And you know what else to do below. Subscribe. I'm at 730 subscriptions. I only have 280 subscriptions to get until Christmas. I have 1 month. Help me out. Christmas present to Minnesota Travel Guy. Thanks a lot, guys. And until next time, be grateful in everything that you do.